Do you disagree with this strategy?
No, I think the strategy is a fair strategy, and it's working because we're killing many commanders of Hamas.
And civilians, Mr. Bennett.
No, Hamas is making the civilians die by placing them in harm's way. And I have to say, many civilians are deciding deliberately that they want to take that risk or even want to be shaheeds themselves. Sometimes,
Mr. Bennett, this is also their home. You would understand that,
terrorists.
If I may say, this is also their home, and they don't want to leave, also out of the fear that they will not be able to go back.
Well, they should have thought before they went in and raped and killed.
I'm talking about Palestinian civilians, not Hamas. I just want to ask you about the civilians, not Hamas itself.
Yeah, but I'm talking also about civilians. Unfortunately, as you know or may not know, many civilians participated in the acts of terror on October 7th. And unfortunately, Hamas also enjoys widespread support by civilians. This is not to say that we're going to target the civilians deliberately. We don't do that. But if civilians decide that they want to place themselves in harm's way,
Mr. Bennett,
that's their responsibility.
So you and I know that there hasn't been an election in Gaza since 2006, so it's unfair to say that we know how many civilians support Hamas. Also, there are so many children, as you know as well, in Gaza at the moment. But I do want to ask you about one more thing that we saw from the U.S. Secretary of Defense over the weekend. He talked about his experience fighting ISIS in Iraq, and you have compared yourself, Hamas, to ISIS. And he's talked about the need to protect civilians, and he said, quote, "In this kind of a fight, the center of gravity is the civilian population. And if you drive them into the arms of the enemy, you replace a tactical victory with a strategic defeat." I just want to get your thoughts on the Secretary's words there.
Well, I'll say this. If we wanted to harm civilians, we could have won the whole war in one day on October 8th. And we could have indiscriminately bombed Gaza. Full victory, but many civilians would have died, many more. We're not doing that. It could have been the easiest thing in the world, and other countries have done that in history against terrible enemies. We're not doing that. So yeah, it's taking time. If anyone has a better plan, bring it on. But barring that, we have to eliminate Hamas. We just don't have another choice.
Okay, Mr. Bennett, thank you so much for joining us on BBC News, and we do hope to continue the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.